equilibrium
มันเยอะ
or
จนอีกครับผมก็เลยบอกว่า
equilibrium is a very important thing on your job,
Yep.
on your work.
Yes.
Why?
So
这个人就不行
equilibrium is used in two senses. In physics, the notion is of dynamics and then a resting point. In social science, it's a slightly different concept of the outcome of actions of many different people. So in some sense, the equilibrium is the group level decision that is the result of all of the individual level decisions. And one of the most important challenges in social science is to remember the difference between how we see the world as individuals and then what the outcome is for the group.
Yeah, you also said that what is going on is the desire, is the idea of many people, is the result of it, right?
Well, this is one of the amazing things about humans as a species. We are somewhat selfish, perhaps pretty selfish. We pursue our own goals, but we're just a little bit groupish, where we worry about what's good for the group. And that combination of a little bit of groupishness, so we constrain the selfishness so it goes in a good direction, that explains why humans have been so successful as a species. A little bit of ability to step back and say, we're going to guide selfishness in a positive direction.
You have a special vision of the world because of your previous work and work back, and you deal with many people from different origins. I think that one of your Shakeman is a Brazilian guy, isn't it?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He was one of my most influential thesis advisors. Yeah. There is something that's also attractive about being part of a larger effort, an effort that's larger than oneself, being part of a group that you care about. And for me, that group is the community of science, and that is a group that spans the whole world. So it's exciting to have that kind of opportunity to belong to such a broad, diverse, interesting group.
Okay.
How do you feel being here today?
Oh, it's a great honor, and it's fun to be reminded of what it was like a year ago when I was in Sweden receiving the prize and enjoying the ceremonies there. This monument also celebrates not just the foundation and the science and literature that the foundation celebrates, but it also celebrates the parks in New York City, which are a wonderful contribution to the quality of life here. So it's a chance to celebrate many of the good things that humans can do, and it's a good reminder that we are capable of doing good things, even if we sometimes squabble and do some bad things too.
What does it mean to you to be here as an American, as a recipient?
The United States has had a responsibility historically for leading in a few dimensions. Science is one of the areas where it has been a leader, and it was a latecomer to the world of science, but in the 20th century emerged as a leader in the sciences, in the social sciences, and even literature. So I think it makes me proud as an American to see what we've accomplished. But it also is a reminder that any nation can move into that position of leadership, and that we should expect that process of leadership and followership to evolve over time. And what will keep moving the whole world forward, move humanity forward, is that there will always be some new nation that can step in and lead when an existing leader falters. Well, I've been establishing some kind of a public persona, helping people in the public know who I am. And then that will let me speak on a few issues that I select. And the key issues that seem very important to me first are science and scholarship more generally, and the role that they play in helping instill some values of honesty and integrity, and how those values then in turn create the possibility of trust. So in just a pure economic sense, just GDP per capita, trust is a very important resource for any society. And I think science and the academic world in general can be a positive force, encouraging people to behave in ways that build social trust. So that's one very important focus. The other is a practical problem that has not received enough attention, which is that hundreds of millions of people want to leave the countries where they now live. The Gallup organization estimates 750 million people would want to leave the country they're in if they could. This presents both an opportunity to give hundreds of millions of people a better life, and it also presents a threat because we've seen how uncontrolled migration flows can destabilize a nation. So it's both an opportunity and a threat, and I think it's a very important problem to acknowledge and to work on in a practical sense, not just in saying nice things, but what could we actually do to solve a problem that's so large. So those two areas would be enough to keep me busy.
So could you define the definition trust? That's an interesting term you use.
So when I purchase a good or a service from someone, that person will make a representation to me about what the good does, what the service will offer me, and trust is when I accept that person's assertion as being accurate. Now, in general, we can trust people if most of the time the people making those assertions are honest, if they tell the truth. And they'll tend to be honest if there's what we call a reputational equilibrium, where when you discover that someone isn't telling the truth, you shun that person and others shun that person. They're excluded from the ordinary interactions of social life. So trust is built on honesty and a collective decision to avoid and to stigmatize people who are not trustworthy. And this takes work to maintain. Each individual would like to say, well, that person's untrustworthy, but I don't want to say anything about it. It's somebody else's problem. Like that scientist is publishing results that aren't true. And each of us in science has to take responsibility for saying, if we know somebody's not telling the truth, it's our job to expose that and to encourage everyone to ignore that person. And that's the only way we can keep science and the economy working.